Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sasha Farbach. Poland is set to invest $500 million to expand and modernize U.S. military bases on its territory, fully funding the upgrades itself. The move is designed to support around 10,000 American troops stationed in the country and strengthen Poland's role in European security. We'll take a closer look now at what this means for the U.S.-Poland partnership and the broader balance of defense in Europe. With us to talk about it all is Wojciech Kozioł, defense editor at Defense 24. Welcome to TVP World. Good to have you.
Good morning.
So let's look at this first from a numbers perspective. So $500 million, that's a lot of money. Some Polish taxpayers might look at this and say, is this cost justified? And what's included in all this?
Yeah, this cost we talk about $500 million. Polish side treats this as an investment in its own security. As Deputy Minister of National Defense Cezary Tomczyk pointed out, increasing the American presence in Poland is one of the strongest guarantees of security. This is especially relevant now when we are dealing with a significant change in U.S. foreign policy and the new U.S. national security strategy. Therefore, our goal should be to maintain the American interests in our region, and one of the mechanisms for this is precisely to form this form of expenditure. Although certainly the most effective method would be creating joint financial or energy ventures. But maybe it will be in the future.
All right. So you're saying this is something that is about securing Poland's own security. We know that. We know also Poland is doing a lot, invested, one of the top NATO spenders, 5% of GDP pretty much. But looking at what this also entails, as far as I'm looking here, there's a lot of infrastructure involved. We have 10,000 U.S. troops stationed in Poland. That's one of the largest in Europe, I think 80,000 across the continent. But at the same time, is this a sort of subsidy? Some may look at this as a subsidy. Is it something else? How much control and leverage does this give to Poland?
Well, that's a hard question because we don't know all informations about this basis which will be in Poland with this all infrastructure. We have right now something between 8,000 or 10,000 US soldiers in Poland in rotation system. In this US presence acts like deterrence toward Russia. Any attack on Poland would mean direct conflict with the United States. So our strength in NATO on eastern flank is connected with US presence in Poland, in Romania right now, and other countries like Finland and also in Germany. So it might sound like a spirit of realpolitik, but it is in our interests that in the event of any conflict, American troops are alongside of our forces as the first to be engaged in combat. It might sound terrible because we're talking about open war with Russia, but it must be in our plans.
Mm-hmm. We know let's say, the reasoning behind that, and that makes sense for American troops to be stationed here. I mean, it's the eastern flank of NATO, etc. But at the same time, I'm just curious also, with this kind of financial arrangement, that's still quite a bit of money. You said yourself, you're not 100% sure of all the details, but how does it compare if we're looking at other countries? Let's say you mentioned Germany, Romania. Do they have similar agreements financially? Do they have, let's say, more say on this? Are they paying the same amount percentage-wise? How does it compare with other U.S. permanent bases across the continent?
Well, in Poland, it looks like, as I said earlier, this is a rotational presence, except the 5th Corps headquarters in Poznań. It is based on agreements from 2014, if I could remember, and after 2020. In contrast, the permanent bases, as we said, in Germany, but also in other countries like Japan and South Korea, which were established after World War II. There, American soldiers serve much longer, in much longer tours with families than in Poland. Poland covers most or more coast than, for example, Japan or Germany. But this rotation are more expensive for US also, but Poland compensates that with our own investments. So it's different, like in Germany or other countries, where this is a permanent plan for staying US troops, but we have, saying it in Donald Trump language, our own cards, like strong economy, a strong army, investments in security, and it encouraged American government to invest also in us and seeing us as a believable partner.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned also in terms of rotation, I mean, that permanent presence, the Fifth Corps in Western Poland, but we have seen a shifting of, let's say, deployments. I mean, there was a lot going around Rzeszów, so the southeast of Poland, but then again, U.S. forces moved elsewhere. We have the promise, or at least what President Trump said in the White House to President Nawrocki, said very much that Americans will stay in Poland. But given the very, let's say, mercurial nature of the world at the moment, how much of a guarantee does Poland have that if American priorities shift, maybe to the Arctic, maybe to Asia, that this kind of investment will be locked in, or is this dependent on what the Pentagon decides to do tomorrow?
Yeah, there is a risk. There's always a risk that US will shift focus to the Indo-Pacific, the Arctic, or Latin America. We've seen that a few days ago. The recent attacks on Venezuela, the capture of Nicolas Maduro, the returning topics of Cuba, Greenland, this could affect American engagement in Europe. Therefore, let us treat as American forces as a guarantee of security, but without giving up any developing our own capabilities in the region. So I'm thinking that primarily our partners of NATO is their flank. But we should think about this, what I said earlier at the beginning, about US new strategy. There we can read about this, that United States see our region, I mean Central, Eastern, and North Europe as the place where American interest should be very strong in the future.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you were pointing out to the national security document as well. I suppose that means, I think what particular paragraphs were, as you said there, very much pointed out to Poland, Central and Eastern Europe. So it's really Western countries, let's say we're looking at Germany potentially, where they should be more concerned in terms of troop redeployment?
Maybe. We don't know everything about it. Maybe it will change in next years. We will see. As you said, so American politics, foreign politics is dynamic in these times, and we will see that in the future. Maybe it's gonna change. Maybe American politics and Donald Trump will decide that they will stay in Europe, and maybe American troops stay in Poland, in Romania, because there are some problems with that presence in there. But we should just wait, observe, and adapt to any situation which happened in next few months, maybe years.
Okay, and I also want to ask just a final point as well. I mean, this is very new information. What happened at the Coalition of the Willing, very much that if there is a ceasefire, if there is peace in Ukraine, potentially UK and French peacekeeping forces in Ukraine, Poland, very much, the Prime Minister said, will be logistics hub. How much does this investment also help any kind of troop movement that will have to come through Poland? Just as we close.
A lot. Poland is the biggest logistic hub on eastern flank. Something between 80 and 90% of help to Ukraine go through Poland and through Rzeszów and Jasionka. So there is no chance to organize any mission, any peace mission in Ukraine without Poland help. So maybe our troops won't be on Ukraine, but we have our missions of security, of securing our borders with Russia on the north and with Belarus on the east.
All right, so as whatever investment is made by Poland, that's going to benefit not just this country, but also this region, I think, in any point in the future. Look, thanks so much for that. That was our guest here this morning, Wojciech Kozioł from Defense 24. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching World Talks, but stay right here on TVP World for more news and commentary. Goodbye.